It's the Evan edition. The Evan edition. The Evan edition. The Evan edition. It's the Evan edition. The Evan edition. The Evan edition. The Evan edition. It's the Evan edition.
Welcome back to the Evan edition, where we talk TV, movies, pop culture, comics, and everything in between. I'm your host, Evan Bernstein. And ladies and gentlemen, buckle up, because joining me today is a creator who brings passion, insight, and straight up fire to every conversation. Give it up for my guy, Roque from Roque Inc.
What's up? What's up, Evan?
Happy Sunday, my friend.
Happy
How was
Sunday.
your weekend?
It's pretty good. Pretty good. Kind of busy. The wife's out of town, but still just everything fills up when you don't have your significant other there. You just fill it up with, it's not like I'm sitting around eating popcorn and like splayed out on the sofa catching up on movies.
That would be nice.
That would be nice. But so yeah, just filled up with lots of work stuff, and it's been
No,
good.
I totally get it. No rest for the wicked, right?
No.
So, but that doesn't mean that the weekend is over, because we still got the Evan edition with some fun stuff to talk about. We got some amazing pictures of Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. The Russo brothers might be leading the MCU after these next two Avengers movies. Brainiac is confirmed. Star Trek has brand new writers for a brand new take on the IP. Thanos might be coming back sooner than we thought. And apparently, David Ellison is playing a little bit hard to get when it comes to that Warner Bros. Purchase, because he's saying that maybe they're not that interested.
That tease.
We got a lot to get into. Yeah, exactly. Teasing, So without further ado, why don't we just jump right into it? I want to get into this. So 2026 is going to be a big year for movies, and everyone's focused on the comics, right? We got Supergirl, we got Spider-Man, we got, what else? We got a lot, right? Oh, Avengers, Doomsday, we got Dune 3, we got Toy Story 5. The list goes on and on. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, you know what people really care about? That is a Christopher Nolan movie. When a Christopher Nolan movie drops, it is basically like a must-watch in the theaters experience. And we've come to know and love Christopher Nolan for that. And his next movie, The Odyssey, is something that he hasn't really dived into before. This time period, fantastical adventure kind of movie. So I, for one, cannot wait. And apparently, as we know, people already started buying those tickets and already made millions of dollars like a year before it came out. But now they actually get to see what the movie looks like, because we got some first look images from Empire magazine. And this comes to us from World of Real. They say, here are a few excerpts from Nolan's interview where he describes the film as foundational and primal, while Empire has revealed a few of the pictures. I cannot wait to hear this. So I was waiting for you to read this. So basically, this is what Nolan had to say. He said, there's a bit of everything in it. I mean, it truly contains all stories. As a filmmaker, you're looking for gaps in cinematic culture, things that haven't been done before. And what I saw is that all of this great mythological cinematic work that I had grown up with, Ray Harryhausen movies and other things, I never seen that done with the sort of weight and credibility that an A budget and a big Hollywood IMAX production could do. You know, given the massive undertaking, Nolan made sure to not miss the opportunity to shoot a lot of footage. Over 2 million feet of it, to be exact. He said, we shot over 2 million feet of film. It's pretty primal. I've been out on it for the last 4 months. We got the cast who plays the crew of Odysseus' ship out there on the real waves, in the real places. And yeah, It's vast and terrifying and wonderful and benevolent as the conditions shift. We really wanted to capture how hard those journeys would have been for people and the leap of faith that was being made in an unmapped, uncharted world. This article goes on to say they Googled how many hours of footage 2 million feet of IMAX film would yield, and the answer is 139 hours. Yeah.
That's how long it's going to be. He's not going to edit any of it. We're going to watch 130. I would line up for a 139-hour movie.
I think we're going to get at least a 3-hour movie.
At least.
Or else there's going to be 50 director's cuts after this bad boy comes out. But if you take a look at the images, we got another close-up of Matt Damon in the titular role. We got the Warriors in the forest with Matt Damon leading the charge. And then if you look here, I have a few more. This really beautiful shot on the sand with the iconic Trojan horse, really beautiful lighting, the silhouette of the people and the horse. It looks stunning. And then on top of that, we're getting some characters. We got Anne Hathaway as the wife of Odysseus. And then I think, I'm sorry, I don't have the name in front of me, but Mia Goth is, I believe, the maid or something like that. So we're starting to see a little bit more, of course, Mia Goth without
Melantho. I don't know who that is.
Yes.
Melantho.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, my co-host.
Yeah.
We got Mia Goth without the eyebrows, the iconic look that she always gives, which comes off a little bit creepy, but completely captivates your attention nonetheless. I want to ask you,
how much eyebrows make a human face. You know what I mean?
Wait till you see Frankenstein.
Mm.
That's all I'm gonna say. So I want to ask you, based on, these insanely, obviously Christopher Nolan detailed photos and a little bit of what he was saying about the conditions that they filmed in, these real life conditions. What do you think about the images and what we're hearing from the director, and how excited are you about this movie?
I'm really excited. I mean, Christopher Nolan's one of my favorite generational directors right now. Anything that he comes out, even the ones that weren't considered hits or that people were disappointed in, I love. And I think he's just hit that point in the career where he can do no wrong. It's
I know
he's just got such an interesting, strong vision for the work. And it's not just, it's on all aspects. It's like the writing, the music, the cinematography. So I think The Odyssey is an incredible story for him to undertake. When I heard the very first announcement that he was doing it, I'm like, I'm in. I was already in. You know what I mean? So I'm excited, and just seeing those images you posted, they're in all their. I mean, you got them in these tiny thumbnails, but you can already feel the IMAX flex that Christopher Nolan likes to do in all his movies. So it's gonna be good. Oh, what's up,
Jeffrey?
Beats? All the way from Australia. Jeffrey Beats is in Australia.
Good day. Good day.
Good day indeed.
Hello, Akers.
What's up, Akers?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, let's take a little bit, deeper of a look with this little bad boy.
I was just looking
nice.
at his cinematographer is the same guy who did Tenet and Oppenheimer. So yeah, it's gonna be incredible. Dunkirk. It's gonna kill it.
I think what Christopher Nolan is able to do when it comes to cinematic experiences and making, must watch in theater cinema, it's become a rarity in this world that we live in of straight to streaming or 2 weeks in the theaters and then on Netflix. And in some regards, it kind of ruins the theater going experience. And I really think Christopher Nolan, amongst a few others for sure, but him especially, is standing still when it comes to giving the people something to hold on to and something to truly remember when they go to the movie theaters. And it's becoming a lost art. And I feel so grateful that Christopher Nolan is not giving up on the experiences that he had in the theaters when he was a kid. And it's something just so beautiful to behold that like he's standing pat. And obviously, you know, what happened with Tenet and how they, you know, put out his film on streaming during the pandemic, it really rubbed him the wrong way. But it's good for us because he's on a journey to be like, nope, I am not signing anything with any streaming that will make it so my movie is not playing in theaters at least for a couple months. So I really love that aspect about him. 100%.
Yeah, he's a true cinephile, right? And he's defending the art of filmmaking, and I think he's proven it. He's proven it. His track record is like when you go watch a Christopher Nolan film, you are getting an experience. You're getting an immersive experience in the theaters, and you know, I think him finding this story or tackling this story is a great move for him. Yeah, I'm super excited, super stoked. Like you said, there's a handful of directors that can do that now. And it's like when we were growing up, it was like Spielberg was, you gotta go watch this movie. Anything Spielberg did. And I think Christopher Nolan is that for this generation in a different way. It's not the same kind of entertainment that Spielberg brought, but it's just an epic film experience.
You know, I actually really like this question from Akers. You know, what Christopher Nolan was able to do with Oppenheimer, a biopic about very, you know, bleak moments in American history. But it had this amazing thing where it was tied to Barbie and people were going to the theaters, and it was such a beautiful thing to see, like two so different movies really getting people to the movie theater. And that bad boy made up to like 900 million, which is completely rare. I'm wondering, based on that heat and, you know, that, you know, word of mouth that is so well known with Christopher Nolan films at this point, how likely do you think it is that this could be $1 billion film?
If it's good, it can do it. You know, if he misses if it's a boring film, you know what I mean? It's too long. We joke about the length and how much footage he shot, but it's too long and it drags on too long, which in the hands of a lesser director could easily happen for this kind of movie. You know, it's not like The Odyssey is like nonstop, like in your face action. There's some like moments in it, which, you know, I haven't read it in a long time, but there's some moments in it that, you know, are not the like popcorn moment.
Definitely.
But if Christopher Nolan can craft it in a way that keeps you engaged, it's set up to be a $1 billion film.
Game over.
Yeah.
No,
this side. The
theaters
kind of
are like,
story,
please give us more Christopher Nolan movies so we can get people to come to our theaters. Like, this is what they've been waiting for. 2026, you know, fingers crossed, is going to be a great year for movie theaters. That is my hope. There's a bangers of films coming out in the theaters. So I really hope this is going to be one that is taking the charge of like really getting people back into their seats. Do you know when this bad boy comes out? I forgot.
The biggest question I have is, how much are tickets going to be for IMAX for this movie? It's going to be like $30.
That's how he's going to get his billion.
Exactly. Then it's easily going to make it to the billion.
July 17th.
Okay. Summer
blockbuster. Yep. That's what he has. That's what he has risen to. You are right in many aspects. He is the Spielberg of this new generation, where his movies, whether it's a biopic about the atom bomb or, you know, whatever it is, Dunkirk, he has earned a spot in the summer box office, surrounded by colorful action superhero movies. And that is something to really be beholden in this like day and age of the movies that make it to theaters and stay in theaters for a little bit, you know?
Yeah, he's hit that level where his name is the equivalent of like an A-lister actor being being labeled on the movie.
100%.
So yeah,
100%.
I hope he succeeds, because I've loved everything he's done in varying degrees. Not everything's perfect, but I've loved everything he does, and I just love how he pushes his vision forward every time. So
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I love him. I cannot wait to see this. So let us know what you guys think. Are you excited for Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey? Do these first look pictures from Empire push your excitement a little bit more? And is it July already? Drop a comment below and let us know your thoughts.
Jeffrey
All right,
Beat said he
guys.
liked the Barbie movie better. Get out of town. I like the Barbie movie. It was fun.
I liked it
Better.
too. I
Yeah.
liked it too. It was a good movie. All right, guys. With that down, I wanted to get into this. So, as you guys know, we have the beginning of two major movies coming out next year. We have Avengers Doomsday in 2026, and then we have Avengers Secret Wars in 2027. And after that, what is the MCU going to be? Well, it seems like we'll at least know who's going to be leading the charge when it comes to the MCU after these next two Avengers films, as reports have been coming out that the Russo brothers are set to lead the MCU future after they are done with Secret Wars. This comes to us from MovieWeb. They say, we are still 2 years away from discovering how the MCU's multiverse saga comes to a close after Secret Wars. But it looks like even after the conclusion of Marvel Studios' divisive post-Endgame era, the Russo brothers will not be going anywhere anytime soon. If a new rumor from the Cosmic Circuses, Alex Perez, is correct, Kevin Feige is bringing the Russos into the so-called Marvel Parliament to oversee the mutant saga. While Anthony and Joe Russo have delivered some non-Marvel projects that have not received the best reviews, such as Netflix's The Electric State, it is hard for anyone to fault the work they did during the MCU's Infinity Saga, which resulted in arguably the best films of the entire franchise, whether it's Civil War, Winter Soldier, Infinity War, Endgame. Now, as well as finally returning to the double feature of Doomsday and Secret Wars. According to Perez's report, Marvel's bringing the Russos along for the ride post-Secret Wars as part of the famous Marvel Parliament, basically just overseeing the general story for the next saga. They want to avoid the mistakes they made with the multiverse saga in trying to branch out to many different story points and having multiple open endings without having a clear direction. If there has been one complaint about the recent years of the MCU, it is how many projects have either not lived up to the promise of what the multiverse has offered up or suffered from having no real direction. The Russos' involvement in the mutant saga is reportedly going to stop that from happening. So can the Russo brothers make the MCU great again? That is the big question, and that's what we all want to know. Rocky, what do you think about the Russo brothers possibly being in the MCU Parliament and helping lead the future of the mutant saga after they're done with their two films?
I think MCU Parliament is a dumb name. That's my first comment.
That's the first thing.
But I mean, going back to, I mean, you just listed it out, right? Civil War, Winter Soldier, Endgame, Infinity War. Like, those are all unbelievable Marvel movies. Those were amazing in my mind, and arguably some of the best ones out there of all the Marvel movies that have come out. I have faith in it. You know, I think after we see Doomsday, we'll know. I feel like I will have a better gauge of like where the Russo brothers are. You know, how could you kind of top what you've the mountaintop that you reached in the first phase. But I do have faith in them because those guys, they have a wide range. Most people know of the Russo brothers from the big MCU blockbusters, but those guys started off in TV, you know. Community. Amazing. And that's an amazing show. And that was a cutting edge show. And yeah, they really did some really fun, incredible, like genre bending kind of things in a smaller way. So I can
Oh,
see them. What's that?
Oh, nothing.
Oh.
I mistyped something.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, I completely, sorry to cut you off.
No.
I completely agree with you. And I think something that like a really good point that you made, didn't even get to add my little thumbnail thing. I think a really good point that you made, and Jordan brings it up in the comments as well, is why are we focusing so much on after Doomsday and after Secret Wars when we don't even know if these Avengers movies are going to be any good? Like, just because the last two that they did were good doesn't mean that like all this like uncertainty over the past few years, not even knowing who's in the Avengers, is going to be pulled off in the end. They still have the task to pull off before we even start thinking about the mutant saga in the future after Secret Wars. So it's all well and good that you're trying to think of people to solidify an actual plan, which you should have been doing this whole time, which I don't understand why. But at the same time, the focus needs to be on these two movies, and these two movies need to hit, because if they don't, who knows if there will be an MCU that people will even be interested in seeing.
Yeah. And I think if not them, then who, right? Like if you had to plan out and you're given that task of planning out, I'd kind of bet on the Russo brothers, you know, out of all the directors that have done something in the MCU. I mean, maybe Ryan Coogler is probably the next one that comes to mind as like somebody who's got a great vision and can do different types of stories. And he's kind of, you know, an it director right now. But could he handle like, or would he even want to handle like the Marvel future, right? So that's why I think the Russos are probably the best bet that they've got if they had to bet on anybody.
And you know, the good thing is with the Russo brothers, they have Agbo, they have their production company, and so it's like they can still be producing movies while helping spearhead the direction of the MCU. You know, they just signed on to produce the Rambo prequel. So they have other things, other irons in the fire. And so I think they might be more in a place now where their production company's up and going. They have projects in the pipeline, and then they can still play in the MCU sandbox a little bit while still doing what they want to do as filmmakers. And so I think that's why this would be more attractive to them now, because they are more solidified as a production company. Even though they've had some few misses, people still want to work with them. They're still the Russo brothers. So like, don't get it twisted. So I think they're in a place now where they can be part of the parliament and help push the MCU forward after these two Avengers movies are done.
Have they mentioned who else is part of this parliament? Just Kevin
No,
Feige
I
and
think
those
it's
two
probably you, me, and all the other people. Nothing to do. No, I don't know. I mean, it could be the king, the queen. It's parliament, right?
Prince Charles is there.
Yeah. I think at the Friendsgiving I was at last night, I did see a dude that looked like Prince Charles.
Wow.
Yeah, he had the, you know, I don't have much, but he had little sides, you know. So yeah, that is what I really think is the most important thing. Focus on these two movies being great. Yeah. Once you have the buzz from the first one and people are loving Doomsday, then in the middle announce, hey, these guys are going to be spearheading the mutant saga. Oh my God. Can't wait to see Secret Wars to see what they do after. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's interesting that it's coming out now, but when it's slow, people don't got anything to talk about. They're going to start pushing out stuff that maybe should have came down the pipeline a little bit later.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, yeah, you have something to say?
I was just going to say they probably want like to reassure Marvel fans like the future is going to be good, guys. Yes, because I know it's been a little shaky here, but here's our solution. Yeah.
So, I agree. This is definitely a tactic to get people to go see those Avengers movies as well. To solidify, like, we have a plan. They are the Cylons of Hollywood. We have a plan.
Yes.
Okay, guys. Well, let us know what you guys think. Are you excited to have the Russo brothers possibly lead the MCU's vision moving forward after Secret Wars, or do you think maybe there's someone else that might be better for the job? Maybe a Ryan Coogler, maybe a Peyton Reed, since Ant-Man 3 was so good. Sorry, Peyton. Let me know your thoughts. Drop them below. All right, guys. With that down, I wanted to get into this. Brainiac is the villain of Superman 2. What a surprise. Who would have thought, based on the front of the script that James Gunn showed us,
rumor that came out
and every rumor that came out.
Yeah.
Well, it is official. Our boy Brainiac is going to be the main villain and ultimately have Superman and Lex Luthor teaming up to fight a bigger bad. But let's dive into a little bit deeper, because James Gunn shared another cryptic image because he likes us guessing. This comes to us from comicbookmovie.com. They say earlier this week, The Wrap reported that Brainiac will indeed be the main villain of Man of Tomorrow, and director James Gunn now appears to have confirmed the news. The filmmaker shared the below image of Threads. If you take a look at this bad boy, and the filmmaker, though it may not seem like it's much to do with Brainiac at first glance, the photo is actually a microscopic 3D reconstruction of brain tissue.
Oh.
We can't be certain that he's teasing the super smart cyborg, but it seems like a pretty safe bet. Gunn is believed to be casting at the moment, and Dracula and Bad Sisters actor Klaus Bang is rumored to have tested for the role. And we've heard that other actors are in the mix, but no names just yet. Many fans have assumed that Brainiac would be the movie's big bad anyway, since Gunn appeared to hint at the character when he shared an image of a medical x-ray with an exposed brain on the first page of the script. Gunn said in an interview recently, "Listen, of course I wasn't unaware that when I posted that cover of the script that there was going to be discussion around that particular topic. But I think we'll hold off from exactly what is happening." Brainiac has showed up in live action DC-based shows such as Smallville, Krypton, as well as numerous animated projects, but Man of Tomorrow will mark his first feature appearance. It remains to be seen how the character will be introduced in Man of Tomorrow, but there's a good chance it will have something to do with the events of Peacemaker Season 2 finale, the Quantum Folding Chamber, and, of course, using Planet Salvation to imprison metahumans or anyone that they deem too unsafe to be on Earth. So I want to ask you first, before we get into the Brainiac of it all and who we think could play this role, I want to ask you, now that it is confirmed, what do you think about Brainiac being the big bad of Superman 2?
I think we've touched on this, on other conversations that we've had. I think it's great. I think he's
really,
I think that we haven't seen, or I haven't seen him on the big screen done like that's the quintessential Brainiac.
Right.
And so I want to see it. I think it's a time. He's a long-standing Superman villain. We've seen a million iterations of Lex Luthor, which is fine. It's part of the Superman history. But I think Brainiac is one that it would be great to see, like, that definitive Brainiac on the big screen. So yeah, I'm excited. And I think all the rumors leading up to it, it wasn't like, oh man, is he going to do a Brainiac story? And then it comes out, it's just like, oh yeah, I hope he does do a Brainiac story. Because there's also a bunch of different angles you can take Brainiac.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like Jeff was saying, seems like 80s Superman brand done right. I think there's a lot you can do with like the imagery of Brainiac. What we saw in the first Superman is this Silver Age, retro futuristic with the robots and what the Fortress of Solitude looks like. And there's a lot of stuff that he played with to really bring the comic book to life. And I think using Brainiac, the imagery that you can use will set the tone for the sequel to Superman and really show like that this movie and this world took another step forward. This is the right step, I think, for this IP under the DCU brand with James Gunn. So I think it's perfect. Now that we've talked a little bit, I gave Rocky some homework because I know he loves homework.
Oh man.
And we actually are going to discuss a little bit of who we think would make a great Brainiac in James Gunn's world. And the first one, Rocky, why don't you take it away?
Okay, so my first choice. So this was kind of an interesting exercise because it was harder than I thought to find an actor that hasn't been in a superhero movie these days. You know, it's
Right.
like all the natural ones
That's a
you
good
think
point.
of. Yeah, it's like because you kind of bring that baggage with you. If you're in a superhero movie, people kind of will take that it'll follow that person's career. But
We've
yeah,
seen
there are
it
some really there's some
done.
really good ones. So I'll give you one guy who I think who has been in a superhero movie before.
All right.
That his name came to mind was I thought like Hugo Weaving would be really cool.
Ooh,
You know what I
that's
mean?
a
I mean,
good
he
one.
played Red Skull, yes, so he's Marvel, but that guy like he's like
Oh, yeah.
there's just like an intelligence about the way he
The
delivers
voice.
his line. Yeah, the voice is incredible. And he can be so devious and sinister.
Menacing.
Yes, menacing is a great word to describe Hugo Weaving. He's got a lot of stature, you know, he can command the screen. I think that's really important, you know, because if you're
How
gonna
old is Hugo Weaving?
Hugo Weaving is 65 years old.
65 years old.
Interesting.
It's a little old, I would think, for a Brainiac in my mind. Maybe
Up
he's
there.
yeah, but look at his forehead too, man. Like that's Brainiac right there.
No,
That
no, I think you're
forehead.
right. And we don't know, you know, I do believe that James Gunn is going to try and go more practical than CGI to really give that feeling, that texture to the film. So we
Mhm.
don't know like if it could just use the actor's voice, if they want it to be more like Galactus and have that physicality like they did in Fantastic Four to make it feel a little bit more real.
Yeah.
So you're right. Yeah. Age could not matter, but then depending on how they have this in mind with Brainiac, it definitely could matter depending on the physicality of the role.
Yeah, like if you're talking about voice, he has one of those iconic voices. Amazing.
Oh, yeah.
It's like James Spader with Ultron, right? Like you never saw James Spader, but his voice as Ultron kind of made that character, and it was all CG. So
What's Wagga?
I think it's an area in Australia.
Okay.
That, Beats is
Okay.
from. Yeah.
Very cool.
He's big on supporting the Australian.
Oh, as you
market.
should be.
Yes.
No, 100%.
Yes.
100%. You got to support your own. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Okay, who else do you have in mind?
Okay. So another person I thought who I don't know if he's been in a superhero movie before. I'm not 100% sure. I should have IMDb'd it, but Jude Law was another one I was thinking.
Interesting.
He's
Wow,
got
I
that,
like it.
Very proper. Look at that forehead.
You're going forehead only.
Going
Forehead casting.
foreheads.
You got little
Yes.
pictures right here.
Yes, but he's got that like there's like a sophistication about him.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I would love to see Jude Law play a darker character, a more sinister character.
Have you seen this?
No, I haven't watched
Okay.
Skeleton Crew.
Because
but he was.
I
Go ahead.
will say, I see some sinister kind of like
Wow.
Two-Face, kind of feels like your friend, but will stab you in the back at the same time kind of character within the one that Jude Law played on the Skeleton Crew. So I if you watch that, I feel like you
Okay.
will see some aspects that could fit nicely into a Brainiac type character.
Okay. And I can see him also going. Maybe I was thinking of like Paul Bettany too, like Vision. You know, like there's this like calculativeness of Jude Law that I can see that could come into play with Brainiac.
What about both? No, I'm just kidding.
Look
This
at that forehead.
This one combines
They do.
both.
They kind of look like each other.
They do.
They could be the same guy.
Yeah.
So you want to hear my third choice?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This one was kind of out of nowhere, but he's more of my like he's hot as far as like in movies, he's kind of one of those
Let me
guys
guess.
that go
Pedro Pascal.
No. No, get out of here with that guy. So my other choice is Bill Skarsgård.
Ooh, going younger.
Yes.
Okay. Keeping their pockets, not have to empty their pockets out on like a big name actor. That makes sense.
But obviously with it, and I think he's just like scary. He looks scary.
Bill was also in Eternals. He was this character.
I don't even remember that character.
He was the villain.
Was he the main villain?
He's not the main villain because there isn't really one, but he was basically what the Celestials made on Earth before the Eternals, and now the Eternals like have battled them for years.
Yes.
Yeah.
That sounds familiar. Yeah. I didn't realize he was that. It was just his voice then, right?
I don't know if he did any motion capture. I don't know if he did anything for that, but he definitely has great iconic voices, whether it's Nosferatu or obviously from Pennywise from It. He is so theatrical and consuming with his voice that it takes you in and you are completely captivated. So I think voice alone, wow, that is a really good choice. You always downplay yourself. You're just doing that to just wow me, because that is a fantastic choice.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah. And he's one of those like young and I don't even know if we say up and coming, because he's kind of, he's made it.
He's here.
He's here. So Jude Law and Hugo Weaving probably a little bit more towards the end of their careers because they're a little bit older or much older. So yeah, that was my youngin' choice thrown in there.
All right. Here's mine. Ben Mendelsohn.
Oh yeah, but he's a Skrull.
He's dead. They killed. They did the mistake and killed him in that terrible show. So that's the MCU's fault. Now it's time for the DCU.
They just jump ship.
Ben Mendelsohn is honestly one of the most underrated actors in the game today.
Yeah.
Anytime, whether it's a good guy, a bad guy, historically they do go bad guy with Ben, but anytime he is on screen, he is completely captivating. He was obviously the main villain in Star Wars: A Rogue One, and then subsequently in Andor. In Andor, the scenes that he was in were arguably the best scenes of the series. There was one point where he's talking to an officer that messed up, and I don't know if this was his decision or if this was the direction of the director, but he's behind her speaking and he just puts his finger on her head while like pushing it down on her head, and it's so subtle, but it's so scary and it's so sinister at the same time. And so I really think Ben Mendelsohn would just eat this role up. However, how old is Ben Mendelsohn?
This should be
56 years old.
Okay, so 56 years old.
It's better than 65.
It's not too bad.
I'm sorry, not better, younger than 65.
Jeez, ageist. No, I know what you mean. No, I agree. It's not 65. You're not pushing 70.
Yeah.
And you still haven't gotten like that one role that everyone knows you for. You know what I mean? He's just that guy that people love when he's in something.
Right.
But he's not like, oh my gosh, Darth Vader. Not like that, but you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I know
it's
what
not
you
like
mean.
something you can point to and be like, oh, him. So
Yeah.
I think this could be fantastic.
Hmm.
And
That's
he's
cool. That's a
another
good choice.
Australian.
Nice.
Jeffrey's loving this.
We only view Australians as villains, I guess. I don't know. Is that an
I
American
guess
thing?
so. Okay. This one is used all the time, but I have to use it. I really do, because this man's voice,
Oh, he's also from Rogue One.
and he's also from Doctor Strange.
That's right. That's right.
Mads Mikkelsen is the quintessential villain, where his voice, his physicality, the subtleness, the intimidation, the Hannibal Lecter, if you will, he is so sinister without even trying. And I believe he would make a fantastic Brainiac.
Yeah, he's good. He's really good. I think
Right?
maybe his name came across, I was thinking, but I did picture him in Doctor Strange. But maybe that's, that should be not a non-factor. But yeah, he's great. He's really great.
So I want to show you the actor who they mention they spoke to. We don't know if that's true,
Okay.
but this is a name that they've been putting out there. I've seen two more, but I don't think they're real, because like it's the guy from Frasier, and it's another guy like
The guy from Frasier? Who?
yeah, his brother. Like I don't believe it.
Niles?
Yeah, they put that out there.
What? That's a MacGuffin right there. What?
This is the name that they put out there. Klaus Bang
Okay. I'm not
He-
familiar with this stuff.
was Dracula in a TV series made by the same people that made Sherlock. Not a lot of people saw it, but fantastic writing, and he was really good in it.
He was Dracula.
He was
Okay.
the titular character. And he is absolutely sinister, dark as heck. It has a fantastic voice. So if they announced today that it was Klaus Bang, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I don't know if it's bang. She bangs. I don't want to say that. If they announced Klaus today, I would not be upset, because he has all the boxes that you need checked to make a great Brainiac. So I could definitely see them doing that for sure.
Is he Australian?
No, I don't think he is.
Darn.
I don't
Okay.
think he is. Where is he from? Let's see. He is
Danish.
from. He's Danish.
Danish.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, he is Dane. He is.
Oh,
a
somebody
Dane.
somebody on Reddit did a little mock-up of a horrible mock-up of him, but
Oh
they just-
yeah, he was in
they
the
just made him
Northman.
green.
He was in the Northman
Oh, I didn't see that.
too. Yeah,
Wow,
he was.
look at
Very,
him. Long hair. That's cool.
yeah, very very good villain. So like,
Okay.
I wouldn't be mad. I
Okay.
would, however, be mad if it was Jesse
Jesse
Eisenberg. Nice try, Jeffrey, but he's not Australian. No, I'm just
Oh.
kidding. So we're not using him on the list. I couldn't think of anyone else off the top of my head. What's funny is Mads Mikkelsen has a brother who is also in it's actually, what's his name? Mikkelsen.
Wasn't he the voice of something in Star Wars, I thought?
He is the blue guy. Sorry, I'm
Thrawn.
Thank you.
Yes.
He's Admiral Thrawn.
Yes.
Right
The
here he
voi-
is. Right
yeah,
here.
Yeah. Yes.
He's
He's
also.
creepy. Yeah, he's actually
But
pretty
at
good.
the end of the day, how old is Lars Mikkelsen? 61.
This should be a bit on your show where you just ask Google how
It
old
very
people
well
are.
could be one day soon. So
Yes.
that is our choices for who we possibly think off the top of our heads that would make a great Brainiac for Superman 2. Let us know what you guys think. Do you like these choices? Is there anyone that you think would be great that we didn't mention?
Jeffrey
Drop a comment below.
He said
and let us
George
know
from
your
Seinfeld.
thoughts. What?
He said George from Seinfeld.
No, thank you. We're just going off the rails. All right, guys. with that down, I wanted to move on to this. So last week, it was reported that the death of the Kelvin Star Trek timeline is real, and they will not be proceeding forward with the Chris Pine, Zachary Quinto, Zoe Saldana films anymore. After 9 years since the last one. What a surprise.
Surprise. We were working hard on it.
It appears like they're going into warp speed because they already have their writers lined up for a new Star Trek movie. This comes to us from Screen Rant. They say, as Paramount prepares to reboot the Star Trek film franchise, the studio has now found the duo who will write, direct, and produce the upcoming feature. After JJ revived the Star Trek franchise with Chris Pine in 3 films from 2009 to 2016, there were hopes that the cast would reunite for a 4th film. However, as mentioned, after being stuck in development purgatory for years, Paramount plans to reboot the film series. Deadline now reports that Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daly, the duo behind Dungeons and Dragons, are set to breathe new life into Star Trek as directors, producers, and writers of a brand new film. The upcoming production will not feature the same actors from the J.J. Abrams movies and will be an actual new day, a new beginning. Goldstein and Daly have a history of working on existing franchises together. They wrote the script for Spider-Man Homecoming, which was the first Spider-Man film in the MCU. And 6 years later, the duo wrote and directed Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, which rebooted the popular role for the big screen. And the film earned a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes. Before Star Trek, their next project is Mayday, an action film with Ryan Reynolds, Kenneth Branagh, and Maria Bakalova, which has reportedly received major praise from screenings. And test screenings are always true. A release date on Apple TV has not been revealed yet. The rebooted Star Trek film is in early stages of development, so plot, cast details are all unknown. Nevertheless, the upcoming reboot may face some challenges if it undertakes a new direction with unfamiliar characters, because the idea is that it'll be a new timeline, new characters, new story, and it won't necessarily reboot any Star Trek shows or characters that we've seen before. I want to ask you, what do you think about this new direction of not redoing, let's say, The Next Generation or Voyager, Deep Space Nine, and having these specific writers not only write, but direct, produce, and really come up with something cohesive that can start a new trilogy in the box office, in the theaters, with our butts in those seats? Let's go.
I mean, it's been so long since the last Star Trek movie, right? So
yeah,
they pretty much have a clear pathway that
God,
not that long, but
no, I know. It's Jeffrey's favorite. I had to do it for him,
Yeah. So I think that I saw Dungeons and Dragons. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. It's a fun movie. Are there plans for more?
I don't know how many people went out to see it.
Interesting.
There is a difference between being well received and getting butts in those seats. And unfortunately, I don't think enough butts got in those seats for the studio to say, let's make another.
Yeah. And I mean, to be honest, I don't know that much about this duo other than what you just kind of mentioned.
Yeah. Well, did you know that one of them was star of the hit one-season series Freaks and Geeks?
What? Which
one? John Francis Daly was the little boy.
I know that guy. Yeah.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah,
how
that
he
is
found
awesome.
his voice in what he wanted to do after that show. I think that's a beautiful aspect of it for sure.
So yeah, I don't know like how big of like, I mean, I'm assuming to be able to get this job, they have to be like diehard Star Trek
Oh, he's a
fans, you
nerd.
know?
He
Yeah.
seems like a nerd. He is from
He is
Freaks
a
and
freaks
Geeks.
and geek. Yeah,
I
sure.
think he was playing a little bit of himself. But unfortunately, with Dungeons and Dragons, this bad boy was made for a whopping 150 mil, and it
Hmm.
only grossed worldwide 205 million.
Wow.
So
Okay.
it's unfortunate because everyone that I know that have seen Dungeons and Dragons absolutely loved it, said it was a great time, and recommends it every time I hear someone talk about it. So
Mhm.
it is unfortunate, but it does seem like these two writers have something in their writing that sparks some nostalgia for an IP that people really care about.
Yeah.
When it comes to Dungeons and Dragons fans, they are rabid diehard fans, and you
Mhm.
can say the exact same thing with Star Trek. So at the end of the day, they chose someone that they know are people that nerd out on this stuff and will honor the nostalgia factor, but also try and push it forward. And I think that is why these two directors are a good choice for leading Star Trek on the big screen moving forward.
Yeah, you hope so. My biggest question is the people who are in the decision seat to hire them. They must know something that we don't right now, as far as like, okay, yeah, we're going to give you the mantle of Star Trek. That's a big thing to hold on your shoulders. So there must
They
be
must have a
something that they've
great,
seen.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah, best believe they
Yeah.
heard all the pitches from the Hollywood writers
Yeah.
that are hot right now, and they went with these two for a
Yeah.
reason. I want to ask you because when I reported the news last week that the franchise on the big screen was getting rebooted, I got a lot of comments from diehard Star Trek fans, and I saw two camps. I saw one camp that absolutely loves the JJ Kelvin timeline, that really had a good time with it, at least, whether it's Beyond or the first one, the second one, Into Darkness, a lot of people didn't like. I enjoyed it. I heard a
Mm.
lot from both sides, and a lot that, let it die, let it just live in TV, coming back with it's a huge IP. They're never going to let it just live on TV, to the J.J. Abrams movies were the worst things in the world, to they need to be action because in today's day and age, that's what sells in the theaters. When I suggested, injecting some of that social commentary into sci-fi that we've loved from the TV series, I got some that love that and some that think that's a horrible idea for the movie. So I want to ask you, one, what did you think about the JJ action type of Star Trek? And two, what would you like to see in a new iteration on the big screen?
Mm. Good question.
Thank you.
I've never. All right, done. Thank you.
Next topic.
Thank you. I have never been a Star Trek fan. And so JJ's movies, I watched the old movies when I was younger, but it was never like, oh, I didn't have the same Wrath of Khan kind of moment when I watched that movie.
No, I'm not gonna
But
do it.
I obviously had lots of friends who are diehard Star Trek fans. I was always on the Star Wars camp, and
Right.
the twain shall never cross in my mind. But
Nope.
I feel like JJ. So for me, coming from that background, JJ's movies brought me into Star Trek.
Perfect.
It's like what you were saying. It's like he kind of had that Star Warsian approach to Star Trek, and it made it exciting, and it was fun, and there was great characters, and there's a lot of JJ isms that kind of were exciting to
Lens
see on the big
flares.
screen. Yeah, lens flares up the wazoo on Star Trek.
Yeah.
Now, but I've heard the same comments that you did of like diehard fans who loved it and diehard fans who hated it because it wasn't truly what Star Trek is. So yeah, I don't know. I think that I think a fresh take is needed for sure.
Okay.
And I think that they've done a lot of different iterations of Star Trek pretty regularly on TV, whether that's an animated show or you know,
Yeah.
more in a comedy route with like Star Trek lower decks, or it was
People
like
love Strange New Worlds too,
Yeah,
like going
yeah.
back to before
yeah,
the Kirk,
Yeah.
of it all.
Yep. And then obviously with Next Gen and Deep Space Nine, all those were
The
like
classics, yeah.
classic. So I think it needs a fresh take. I would favor that to like gain new Star Trek fans. They're gonna run into I feel like they're gonna run into the same issue with the new Star Wars movies of like, how do you keep that audience that loved it and grew up with it and have the nostalgia factor, and how do you capture a new audience and kind of do both? And that's
The key, right?
that's a really difficult
That's
task.
That's the
Yeah.
key.
And I don't even know if Star Wars did that necessarily. They kind of sort of did. Sometimes were sometimes successful, sometimes not. Yeah, so it's a tough
Do,
one.
do you think it's a good idea to inject, some of that social commentary in a sci-fi story universe? Do you think it's important to inject that into the next movie that we see, to really set it aside from any other space action adventure, but really say, this is what we grew to love of Star Trek, at least on the small screen. Let's
Yeah.
get a little bit of that on the big screen. Is that something that you think you would want, or is even possible with the theater going audience that there is today?
We're in a different time, right?
We are.
So social commentary is such a loaded thing right now
Yeah.
that it's politicized, and it almost like doesn't give people a chance to have a dialogue about the commentary. But I
Right.
think that is one thing that I've heard consistently from Star Trek fans. What they loved about it was that it spoke to
times.
social times in
Right.
a sci-fi envelope. And so
Yeah.
I think that would be great. I would be in with it, but they also have to know this is a different time and social commentary is a different thing now.
It is.
And how do you handle that? How do you
Right.
do that artfully and respectfully and in a way that you're not alienating half of the country or half of the world by
Right.
being so heavy-handed with it, right? So, and I think that's what the original series did. That they were able to do that in a
That's a
very
good
great way.
point.
Yeah.
And another point to that is this.
Bobbleheads?
Black Panther, whether you
Oh.
want to admit it or not, had a lot of social commentary for
Sure.
being a big superhero blockbuster action type movie. At the end of the day, this movie spoke to a culture in a country about a lot of stuff and about our resources and in the relationship that we have with other countries that don't have those resources. And I wouldn't say that was so heavy-handed, but it was definitely a very important action adventure movie that really speaks to the time. So I would say there is possibilities
There's a way.
of a way to do that.
Yeah.
And using bobbleheads.
But it's a really
Fine.
delicate, needle to thread, and you
And-
got to have the right voices, the right creators, the right writers in place to do that. Right
100%.
directors. Yeah.
Yeah.
So good luck.
And only time will tell. Only time will tell. Because
Live long and prosper.
we live long and prosper. Good luck to the writers
Yes.
and the directors. You got a lot of work to do to get these fan bases to come together for a new iteration.
Is this just for the movies though?
Just for the
reboot?
movies.
Okay,
just
interesting.
movies.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to go back to a time where there's a hit Star Trek show and those actors and characters are going to be in the next motion picture. Like that just isn't a thing anymore.
Wasn't that so
because
cool though when we were growing up?
It was
to, like,
fantastic.
you're
but
you're watching them on TV and then all of a sudden they're on the big screen.
because of the heightened storytelling and budget that TV shows
Sure.
get,
Yeah.
there's really not a lot they could do differently if they
It's
put
true.
those characters in
The
to
big
the
screen.
theaters. So it's always down to money for these people, and
Mhm.
it's not going to draw them the money when you have a Chris Pine or a Chris Hemsworth or someone leading the charge in the theaters. That's what it's come to as well. So I think we're just not in a place anymore where we can get those TV shows that we love in a movie version and then back into a next season like we used to with Star Trek, which people loved, which I loved as well. So let us know what you guys think. Do you think these writers are up for the task of running up that hill for a new Star Trek? I've been watching a lot of Stranger Things. All right, guys. With that down, I want to get into this. We got Doomsday coming out. Doomsday's ready. I had to bust out my bone saw from Spider-Man 2. And we got Secret Wars. And we know Dr. Doom is going to be the big bad. But arguably the best big bad of the entire MCU, Thanos, might not be done in the MCU yet. This comes to us from my boy and my best friend, Josh Brolin. No, that'd be sick, though. This comes to us from The Direct, who are like my best friends. They say Thanos actor Josh Brolin recently teased his potential MCU return, and Marvel Studios may have already hinted at when it will happen. You know, from 2014 to 2019, Brolin brought Marvel's Mad Titan to life in live action, serving as the primary villain for the franchise's Infinity Saga. However, spoiler alert, he was eventually killed off in Avengers Endgame.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
And the rest of the Avengers thwarted Thanos' plan for universal balance. Despite his character being dead in the superpowered series, that has not stopped fans from wondering if Brolin could ever come back as the iconic comic villain. Brolin himself has even commented on it, telling E.T. he would be open to an MCU return. Brolin said, if Joe Russo comes to me, which he may have, I don't know, and has an idea, then I might acquiesce, probably pretty quickly. This comes not all that long after Marvel Studios seemingly teased the Mad Titans' return in the upcoming Avengers Doomsday movie. In early September, a hologram show promoting the forthcoming Avengers film appeared to recreate an iconic comic book moment between Thanos and Dr. Doom, Doomsday's central antagonist. Several fans took to this to mean Brolin's Thanos will play at least a small part in 2026 MCU team-up movie, potentially serving as cannon fodder for Robert Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom to show just how powerful he is, because in that famous scene, Dr. Doom rips out his spine of Thanos, and it's one of the most badass scenes in comic book history, to be honest. So I want to ask you, based on these comments and, you know, the light show for Doomsday kind of teasing, do you think that we will actually see Josh Brolin return in Doomsday or Secret Wars for that matter?
I mean, why not? They've thrown all the spices in it already, right? At least what we know. Like, every single actor on the planet is in Avengers Doomsday.
Keep talking. I'm going to show you.
Okay. So if it is probably going to be, yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
What do you think?
Amazing. That's awesome.
You like
really
it?
Good. Oh, I love the skulls he's standing on too.
Right? The Infinity Stones.
Yeah. That's great.
I had to get, you know, I think what Josh Brolin did with this character is really solidified just how badass and dangerous of a villain Thanos is from the comics. He's not the idea of the villain that you think of when you think of Marvel. You think of Dr. Doom, you think of Magneto, you think of Galactus in a lot of regards. And for the longest time, you know, non-comic book fans didn't understand how important Thanos was, especially in the Infinity Gauntlet saga and all those stories. And so I really think what Josh Brolin did with this character really solidified Thanos as a serious villain, as an iconic villain that people know and love today. And so I think not having him come back in some kind of capacity would be a very missed opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see, right? Like it's
No,
it's got to
no.
make sense. It's got to make sense why he comes back, whether
It
it's a
does.
flashback or, like you said, the spine ripping scene. You know,
That appears to be untrue, is what Dr. Doom says.
nice. So yeah, we'll see. But like, he's great. He was a great character. Do I want to see him show up in it? I don't know. I think my head's gonna explode when I watch this movie because it's just so many cameos and characters are gonna be in it. So
yeah, like Nightcrawler fighting, Captain America fighting, you know, like all this stuff. It's like everything that I've ever wanted to see all in one movie, and then Thanos gets murked. Like this is the
what?
they're gonna need mops for the theater.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it is.
It's gonna be
that's an interesting bit of news.
It's gonna be like that scene that you don't like from Peacemaker season 2 in the beginning.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a little bit different.
In the theater, I'm saying it's gonna be too much for everyone. Too much stimulation.
Marvel orgy. Oh
yeah, exactly. But if what I think is that if they do decide to have Thanos come back, to have Josh Brolin come back, I don't think it's going to be in Doomsday. I really think Doomsday is Doom's story. And I really think maybe in the beginning of Secret Wars to really dive into like when we're in the multiverse where everything has changed, where God Emperor Doom rules supreme and it's the beginning and we're like, oh, here we go. Thanos time. And then boom, he ends Thanos with a pull of a spine. Yeah. That would be a cool way to use him in a subtle way. It's a jobber.
as subtle as ripping somebody's spine out.
I'm just saying, like in a smaller capacity, where it's like,
I get it.
He was here and he's gone.
Yeah.
So I think I could see that, but yeah, I mean, what'd Jeffrey say? There's a multiverse. He's alive in heaps of them. Yeah, and you're right. And you know, in regards to that, we could see a good Thanos. We could see someone who didn't want to destroy half the universe, or maybe has a picket fence and a nice home with Lady Death and some kids, and he's living the suburban life. You never know. It's the multiverse.
He's one of those people that can't snap. You know, those people that just don't.
He's like,
they don't know
how to
snap.
Know how.
It's like
I never could do it, so it didn't happen.
It didn't matter.
But I think you're right. At the end of the day, the multiverse can get convoluted and we need a fluid, streamlined story. So if he does come back, if Thanos is reintroduced, it needs to make sense for the plot. It cannot just be cameo porn. That is not how you make a good movie. Wow, and arguably, a lot of people argued that they didn't like Wolverine and Deadpool because of that. I don't think that, but I can see cameos can take people out of it or rub people the wrong way.
Sure.
Double-edged sword. You know what I mean? So let us know what you guys think. Would you like to see Thanos back in the game? Do you think Josh Brolin is basically saying, hey, I talked to them and yeah, I'm coming back.
Daddy needs a new kitchen. That's what he's saying.
He needs a new kitchen with Lady Death. Drop your comments below and let us know what you guys think. All right, guys. We are almost out of here, but before we get out of here, I did want to talk about this. The hunt for Gollum. No, that's coming out next year. The hunt for Warner Brothers continues as we have suitors coming out of the woodworks, putting in their bids, and Zaslav is taking them all. And we thought for the longest time that the lead of these bidders, if you will, is none other than David Ellison's Paramount Skydance. Well, it seems like he's playing the classic high school boy likes girl game of, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not that interested in you, but I really am, and I want you badly. This comes to us from Variety. They say, I have to pay for a paywall. No, I'm just kidding. They say David
The end.
Ellison.
Good night, folks.
$4.99 a month. No, David Ellison downplayed Paramount's need to acquire Warner Bros. Discovery during a conference call with Wall Street analysts on Monday after the company unveiled earnings that reflect the uphill climb that it faces in revitalizing its films and TV assets. He said, it's important to note that there's no must-have for us. We really look at this as buy versus build, and we absolutely have the ability to build to get to where we want to go. Ellison told Wall Street analysts pressed about Paramount's pursuit of Warner Bros. Discovery. He said, we believe we can achieve our streaming goals and that we can drive enterprise efficiency and create value in long-term free cash flow generation all through the building. Ellison also vowed to be disciplined in his approach to pursuing additional assets. It's understood that Paramount in recent weeks has fielded 2 offers to acquire all of Warner Bros. Discovery, including its linear cable networks. Ellison said, as it relates to M&A, everything for us is going to mergers and acquisitions. Everything for us is going to tie back into, does it accelerate those 3 core principles for us? We're fortunate that we have the balance sheet to be able to be opportunistic when we think that M&A will accelerate our goals. But we're also long-term disciplined owner operators. We'll also approach things through the lens of, how do we maximize value for shareholders? And from an M&A standpoint, it's always going to be, how do we accelerate and improve our North Star principles? Ellison hammered his key points about investment, innovation, and the cleanup that is still underway at Paramount for the new regime. The fine print of Paramount's earnings report discloses plans for a restructuring charge that to be taken in Q4 of $500 million. Ellison has emphasized that the importance of upgrading Paramount's technological infrastructure and capabilities from the moment he sealed the sale of agreement with former owner Sherry Redstone in July of 2024. So apparently he's being very strategic and being pretty nonchalant on 2 well-known offers that were already denied from him in bidding for Warner Brothers Discovery. So I want to ask you, what do you think about our boy David Ellison playing coy when it comes to really wanting to buy Warner Brothers Discovery? And in the end, do you think this will be the ultimate winner of Warner Brothers Discovery?
I think it's all. I think it's
Say
all like.
it ain't so.
I think it's all like strategic of why this is getting out there, or this news bit coming out there. Like, this is during a shareholders conference, right? So it's
I don't want you.
yeah. So I think this is downplaying the fact that they, if I'm hearing you correctly, they put in 2 bids that were rejected already.
Yes.
So it's totally downplaying that fact. Like, oh yeah, we're not giving it our all because they downplayed. Of course they would reject that.
Yeah.
But I
It's
think
like
the bigger,
high school.
yeah, totally. I think the bigger question though is, do I think they're going to win at the end of this whole thing? That's a good question. I think you don't put out 2 offers out there without really wanting something. Yeah. If you, I mean, it's not an easy thing. It's not just like, oh, we'll just see how this goes. They must have put in a lot of work into those offers.
Yeah.
I haven't heard as much. Maybe Netflix is the other kind of bigger. What was the other one? There was Netflix, Paramount, and what else?
And Chill. No. It was, I mean, pretty much we've heard, rumblings. I don't know specifically which ones have really put in bids,
Hmm.
but interest at parties is clearly the streamers like Netflix, Amazon, potentially
Amazon.
Apple.
Oh.
But Skydance is definitely in the lead
The
for
front runner.
sure.
Yeah.
Paramount
Yeah.
Skydance.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not good at guessing these kind of things. I'm gonna say I think it's gonna go to Paramount. Is my
Ugh.
feeling,
Ugh,
but
I don't want that.
you don't want that.
But I do want it over Netflix. I will be honest. If it
yeah.
had to be between those two, at least there's more of a focus on theatrical distribution,
Yeah.
whereas Netflix, time and time again, sticks to their streaming model
Streaming,
only. Gives Guillermo 2 weeks in the theaters before it drops, even though it's a fantastic movie that should have got a bigger push. But at the end of the day, streamers are going to kill theater going experiences, at least when it comes to Netflix. I think Apple learned from F1 that when you do have a theater push, that it can make money. That made almost $500 million and had great word of mouth and a great theater going experience. And now it's coming on to Apple after it played in the theater for a while. So I think they're a tech company that still believes that that is an important aspect of movies, that they should be in the theater. So that would be my choice. If it's going to happen. There's no has to be.
Right.
On top of that, I am also hearing that David Zaslav, the CEO of Warner Bros. Discovery, who is positioned this bidding war, if you will be staying on. That he has signed a deal through 2030, so that whatever acquisition happens, he will still be CEO and will still be paid accordingly when that does happen. So there's a lot of moving parts in here, and I think even Paramount was saying that they wanted that to ensure smooth transition anyways. But at the end of the day, it seems like we are getting closer and closer to the sale being complete, and early reports have stated that they do want to announce a completed sale by the end of December.
Wow. Well,
Dope.
stay tuned. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Can you imagine, like, David Ellison and then
Dad.
his sister has the whole like independent market with isn't she the one in the head of A24?
I know. I
Yeah.
mean, they had
That's crazy.
Annapurna, right?
Annapurna. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a long time. And
Yeah.
I think they were doing it together at first, and then he went and did his own thing,
Yeah.
daddy's money, kind of thing. But those movies that they were producing at the time, I'm like, oh wow, they really care. At least they have that to fall back on. Like, you can't say he didn't care, because Annapurna put out some banger artistic, a tour driven film. So hopefully they don't lose that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
So that's that. And man, it seems like we're gonna get close, and we're gonna hear about that acquisition soon. So
And you're gonna be crying.
I will be crying. Yes, I will definitely be crying. So let us know what you guys think. Do you think he's just playing coy, and that
Yes.
Skydance Paramount is gonna be the ones that acquire WBD, or do you think that now that he's gotten some time to check out their assets and money wise, that they're not interested? I find that hard after 2 bids, but let me know what you guys think. Drop a comment below, and please share your thoughts. All right, guys. Well, that will actually do it for the show. I feel like there was a lot of stuff, a lot to digest, but we broke it down. We got through it. So, like with all this stuff, please, comment, like, share, subscribe, be a part of the community, be part of the conversation, help bite my nails with me about this deadline of Warner Brothers being sold, because I am scared for theaters. But be a part of the journey with us. And I love you guys in the chat. Jeffrey from Australia, thank you for being here and joining us. Please hit that subscribe button. Don't be a stranger. And Rocky, where can they find you?
They can find me first and foremost on my YouTube channel at Rocky Inc. INC. And I have a weekly show where I talk about comics that I pick up at the store every Wednesday, which is really fun. And then I'm also doing Master Study live streams where I reproduce comic pages that I admire, or legends, actually, the artists that I admire, and reproduce their work. And I'm starting my 10th Master Study.
Wow.
Coming up soon. I'm doing a Jack Kirby double pager. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be really fun.
And I do have to say, I love having you on the show. It's
Thank
rare
you.
when you find someone that you can have these conversations where you still feel passionate, but to have these conversations where maybe it's not the most thing that interests you, but giving that point of view from a big population that's out there. On top of that, your community is just so special on your channel.
They're awesome.
Everyone really loves this art and it hits them differently, and they love sharing that, and they love sharing what's going on with their lives and their work and what they're doing. And it's a really beautiful thing to witness. So I would definitely recommend you guys checking out Rocky Inc. It is a fantastic community, and Rocky is just so good at having everyone heard when they're speaking on that channel, and really making it a community. And it's a really cool thing. So I would highly recommend it.
Thanks a lot, Evan. Yeah, I appreciate it. The community is awesome, and making everybody heard it comes with its downfalls too, because then everybody says I'm really late on my shows because I'm just reading everybody's comments out loud. But
Hey,
it's
that's
fun.
okay. That's okay. I have a great time when I tune in. But
Nice.
as always, thank you again, my friend. It is a pleasure always having you on this show. And for everyone else, have a great start to your week. Go see a movie in theaters. Go with a loved one. Go by yourself. Talk to the staff. See what they've seen. See what they recommend. And also, tune in next time. We'll see you later, my friends.
See you later.
And in the words of Thanos, I am inevitable.
It's the Evan edition. The Evan edition. The Evan edition. The Evan edition. It's the Evan edition. The Evan edition. The Evan edition. The Evan edition. It's the Evan edition.